All right, welcome back to the TCI studio. We're going to do our RecruitCast with Mr. Recruiting here, Gavin Oliver. Gavin had a pretty busy weekend, a whole lot of top 5 stars and top recruits on hand this weekend. We're going to kind of review how the weekend went with Gavin and talk about the 2 commits and talk about some of the other big guys that were on campus and some of the things he's heard in his interviews since Saturday night. Gavin, I guess let's start with the commits. Talk to us about, how those commits went down, what kind of players Clemson's getting in those 2.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we'll start off with the first commit that happened before the game. Dakari Collins, 4-star wide receiver from Powder Springs, Georgia, McEachern High School. He committed before the game, announced his commitment while on campus. This is one we saw coming. If you
watched last week,
and you read our TCI forecast update ahead of the visit of Collins, we changed his forecast to sunny, and it was certainly a sunny day in Tiger Town with Collins on Saturday. He's a big addition to wide receiver U, very talented guy that Coach Jeff Scott's had his eyes on for quite a while. Collins has competed at the Sweetie Camp the last 4 summers, and Jeff Scott's had a chance to work with him and cultivate that relationship, and Coach Sweeney as well has also built a good relationship with Collins. So he felt very comfortable with Clemson. He felt Clemson was the right fit, and he didn't need to wait any longer to pull the trigger. And so he's going to be a good one.
The staff obviously knows him well, like you said, if he's camped here for that long, and maybe smart to go ahead and grab one of those spots if that's where he wants to go.
Yeah, absolutely. He was one of the first guys they offered after the camp this past summer. in June, he earned the offer after competing at the camp for the 4th straight summer, and so he was comfortable with Clemson. He knew it was the right fit. He was ready to pull the trigger, and he's going to be a good one. So that was part 1. Then after the game, this one came more out of the blue. This one wasn't quite as expected, but it's still a great pickup nonetheless. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, St. Joseph's. His dad is Jeremiah Trotter, longtime NFL linebacker, stud linebacker who made several Pro Bowls. And so his son's also a really, really talented guy, one of the top linebackers in the country. He's considered. He can play. Brent Venables is going to love utilizing Trotter. He can play multiple linebacker positions. He's physical, a run stuffer. But not only that, he's able to defend the pass as well. He can rush the passer. He can really do it all. He's a versatile guy, and Brent Venables is going to love having a guy like that. He was a late addition to the visitors list. He actually took a red-eye flight that night before the game and made it to campus and saw all he needed to see while on campus and committed after the game. So,
well, and he's a guy I remember seeing Coach Venables talking to his father at camp. This year, and that kind of stood out for me. And obviously, he's one of the guys we watched. But as you said, not somebody that we necessarily thought was going to be ready to pull the trigger this weekend, but a big time get. Always great to get a guy that's got a pedigree like that with his father playing NFL and knowing the game so well. So he's gonna know the game inside and out, which Coach Venables likes.
Absolutely. And so those 2 guys joined Phil Maffa. Loganville, Georgia Grayson, 4-star running back in the 2021 class, so that makes 3 commits now. And Phil committed before the Georgia Tech game, so in just a couple weeks' time, they've already got 3 guys in the class, and the ball's really going.
So who's going to commit for UNC Charlotte?
Wait and see. Stay tuned.
Next week. Obviously, another headliner that was there this weekend, and we kind of teased this a little bit last week. Gilbert, 5-star tight end / receiver. We were kind of keeping our eyes for him, and then he kind of showed up on the field right before the game. And, but obviously getting him back on campus and getting him to see that environment, obviously that's probably the best environment Clemson will have this year with that game, with the crowd and just the atmosphere and everything. But obviously you wrote some stuff in the Insider about that. Sounds like this visit helped Clemson along that path even more.
Yeah, and that's kind of the theme. This is going to be one of those battles that goes down to pretty much the end. He's going to be an early enrollee, so it'll be decided by January. But it's kind of one of those things where you kind of got to chip away. Clemson got him on campus for the All-In Cookout in late July. Kind of helped your case a little bit there. So now you get him back on campus again for the game, a great atmosphere. You help your case again. So it's kind of Clemson's hanging around in the race. They've really turned up the heat on Gilbert. They've really started to recruit him hard since the summertime, and that's we've seen him on campus twice since then. So they've really recruited him hard, and are certainly in the thick of the race. Right now, he's perceived to be, a long time. He was considered a long time Georgia lean, but now that's really started to shift. Alabama, he took an official visit to Alabama over the summer. and Alabama has really made a big push for him, and now many consider him, Alabama, the Tide, to be the team to beat for Gilbert right now. So it's shifted, but while Clemson may not be the front runner right now, they're certainly in the race, and that's all you can really ask for at this point. Based on what we're hearing, we expect Eric to take an official visit to Clemson later this season, and so once again, you can continue to try to help your case there, and be on top when it matters at the end.
Yeah, and I think it's important that he's not one of these guys that's making his decision early. By the time he takes his official visit, probably for the Wake Forest game, I think that's the game they're planning to bring the big guys in for. At that point, the season will have played out, and some of these teams will, obviously Alabama's probably still going to be there, and Georgia's probably still going to be there too. But Tennessee, not so much. I know he's one of the other schools that were pushing him to come there and play receiver, but they're in the game. Our optimism is certainly a lot more than it was before the visit to the All-In Cookout.
I'd say it's safe to say, and like you said, this is not going to be decided right now, but one thing that's worth keeping an eye on is one thing he's really going to pay close attention to down the stretch is how, like we would talk about, teams are pitching receiver to him, but he's also going to pay attention to how the tight ends are utilizing these respective offenses, and that, which team throws the ball to the tight end more could have an edge there too. That's one factor that's really important to him. Which
is a little bit of a concern for Clemson because you don't have that established receiver that you're confident in and has the experience that you go out there and utilize that weapon a lot.
Which is why they're kind of pitching to him, hey, we don't have that
Come
guy.
in, you're the guy.
Come in
Day
and be
one.
that guy. Be with DJ and be the guy that can be that playmaker at tight end that Clemson hasn't had in a while. So on the other flip side of it, that's kind of the way they're pitching that to him.
All right, the other guys that were here, 2021 obviously was the focus. Who are some of the other guys you've talked to that were here for the 2021 class?
Yeah, there were half a dozen 2021 5-stars that made their way to campus, which is pretty substantial.
Only half a dozen?
Yeah. And so we'll just talk about a couple of those. One, hopefully you enjoyed our Tour Champions coverage to see Will Shipley last Friday night. He made the trip to campus the next day, spent 2 nights, made the trip to campus right after the game, spent that Friday night, and then also spent the Saturday night.
Talking to his dad, and they were getting ready to head out of town.
Yep. So
same thing we did.
A very comprehensive visit. He was on campus for the Dabo Swinney camp in June, after which he earned an offer from Clemson. But this visit really gave him more of an opportunity to spend more in-depth time with the coaches, see his first time seeing the game atmosphere, and we'll have a full story with our interview with Will later. But he told us that that game atmosphere really not only met his expectations but exceeded it. It was everything he thought it would be and more. So that was really impressive. But like I said, he was able to spend time with area recruiter Danny Pierman, running backs coach Tony Elliott before the game, and continue to build that relationship. And Will told us Friday that he's focused on his season right now and wants to try to win a state championship. But after that, he's going to start narrowing things down, and he hopes to commit before next summer. So he's still a little bit of ways away from a decision. But Clemson, right now, I don't think any team is in better shape than Clemson at this point.
Only other one might be NC State.
Only other one might be
Mom and Dad going there, right?
And Mom and Dad going there.
But he had to, just the environment he saw Saturday, and he went to NC State games growing up over and over and over. Yeah. When he compares those two, he's got to see there's a pretty big difference.
Not much of a comparison there, but Will did tell us that he's planning to visit NC State for the Clemson game, so he'll be able to see the Tigers again in action later this season on the road. He's also set to visit Notre Dame later this season for its game against Southern Cal, so he's got that set in stone. He told us that he was considering a trip to Virginia this weekend to watch the Florida State game, but he's not sure if he was going to make that trip. That was another one he was thinking about, though. So there's a few visits he wants to make, but right now, Clemson and NC State seem to be the leading contenders for Will.
Who are some of the other big guys you
another one that we broke the news on Saturday, that Peyton Page, Greensboro, North Carolina, Dudley 5-star defensive tackle, elite 2021 defensive tackle. Clemson's also in very good shape right now. Like Shipley, though, still a ways to go. He's going to enjoy the process. He's got a bunch of schools coming hard after him, so he's not anywhere close to a decision, or at least it doesn't appear to be. But Clemson made a big impression on him over the weekend from what we've heard, and are in good shape with him. Clemson also, welcomed a 5-star quarterback in the 2021 class to campus from Washington, D.C., Caleb Williams. That was another big-time guy on hand. There were a couple of elite 5-star cornerbacks, Ja'Kinsey McKinstry and Tony Grimes. and also five-star offensive lineman Amarius Mims that made his way in. So those were some of the other headliners.
Mims is a big dude.
Yeah.
Saw him
Yeah.
show up right before
Yeah.
the game. He's a big fella.
Yeah, and then one four-star that prior to Clemson tight end target Jake Briningstool from Tennessee also made the trip. Clemson's the team to beat for him right now, we believe. I mean, he had a great visit. He's the only one in the 2021, only tight end in the 2021 class with the Clemson offer right now. So he made the trip, and he's not ready to make a decision right now. But hopefully you saw our story with Jake where he really raved about his visit. So Clemson's in a good spot there too.
So you pick up 2 commitments, 2 big-time players, and makes it 3 for the class, like you said, Gavin. You set the table with a lot of these other guys, and that includes Gilbert. So,
Absolutely.
Saturday wasn't all about trying to get commits. You're not going to get commits from too many of those 2021 guys at this point. You'll see those come more next spring, next summer. But they've been here now for a game in that environment. If they came to the Wake Forest game or some other game, they wouldn't get to experience what Clemson's really like on a big-time top 10 game.
That's very true. Definitely the marquee matchup of the year to go see, and the Clemson fans got to give them credit too for providing that atmosphere because they were in the game from start to finish. Never sat down, it seemed like, and the recruits definitely took notice. Yeah.
So Gavin's got a big list. He's talked to some already since the game, and he'll be talking to others here over the next few weeks. We are on the road this week to Syracuse, headed up there, and so we'll have another RecruitCast for you guys next week. But, successful recruiting weekend, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I think Clemson definitely did everything they could this weekend to help their case with a lot of these guys, and like you said, lay the foundation for this 2021 class. And look, this 2020 class that they've pretty much wrapped up with the exception of a couple guys. Awesome. Has a chance to be the number 1 great class, and just the way that's looking right now, this 2021 class has a chance to be special too.
Yeah, it didn't hurt that they went out there and dominated a SEC team, so that's always good as well. So stay tuned to the Clemson Insider for the most complete coverage of Clemson football recruiting. We got a lot more headed your way, and we will have another RecruitCast for you early next week. Thanks.